Hey guys, real quick tutorial on Monster Eye Stuffy. This is a one hoop pattern. It follows all of the other one hoop stuffies. You hoop your medium weight cutaway. You run color stop 1 as a die line on white felt or fabric. You float your felt or fabric. Then you run color stops 2 and 3. The only reason that I'm throwing this up here is 4 is a die line. This has an applique eyelid. So I'm going to go ahead and run my die line. I'm not going to run it in white. I want you to be able to see it. Then we'll come back and we'll talk. Okay, there we go. There's our die line. You see it right there? All I'm going to do is float some felt over the top of that, making sure I'm covering it completely. I'm going to run color stop 2 and 3 and 4. I'll be back after 4. Okay, folks, here we are. We did stitch number 4. Stitch number 4 is a die line for an applique piece. So figure out what kind of skin your monster is going to have. And then you're going to cut a piece of, I recommend floppy vinyl, or you can use fabric, and just float that over. And then we'll be back in a minute after it's tacked it down with a zigzag to show you how to applique cut. Okay, there we are. Our applique is tacked down. Now all we're going to do is applique cut as close to the zigzag as possible. And the top of this you don't have to worry about too awful much because the back will get sewn onto it right there. And then the bottom down here, we're going to cover that with a satin here in a couple of steps. So there we go. We're going to put this back in the machine and we're going to run color stops 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'll be back for 9. Okay, there we go. We've got everything on the design stitched down. We only have step 9 left. We're just going to float a piece of felt or fabric over our whole design and run color stop 9, and we'll be back in a minute. There we go. Our monster eyeball is all done. We are going to pop this little guy out of the hoop. There you go. Remember, on stuffies, you need to leave yourself a turny. You need a little flap, so once you're done turning and stuffing, you have something to tuck in and sew together. So that is way more of a flap than we need. There we go. Now we want to cut 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch away from our stitch line. Don't cut your stitch line. Ooh, bad, bad, bad. And I probably should have grabbed my pinking shears for this one because it's perfectly round and a pinking shear would have been much better, but guess what? I wasn't paying attention. So we're going to do it this way. And we're going to come back here and we are going to follow the arc of our die line like that, so that when we go to do our tuck in, we have a good arc to base it off of. Now we're going to turn, just like that old song by the Birds, turn, turn, turn. Okay. Ooh. And we're going to poke everything out. And we're going to make sure that our seams are rolled. Roll them good. And all of our jumps are clipped. Of course, we probably should have done that before we put the back on. Yep. We're looking good. Looking good for a monster eye. Now we're going to grab a handful of stuffing. And we're going to stuff it up in there. And this is going to be so easy because it's round and there's no horns or ears or tails or feet. It's one hoop and here we go. And how stuffy do you want your monster eye is entirely up to you. If you want him super stuffed, if you want him a little stuffed, it's all up to you. I'm going to stuff him a little bit more than that. Stuff, stuff, stuff. All right, and now we're going to take our back flap and we're going to tuck it in. And then we're going to take our front flap and we'll follow that piece of stabilizer to help us get a nice arc so our monster eye stays round. Then we're going to match our back and our front. I'm going to sew that together in a pretty little circle. I'm gonna pin him closed. And I am probably not going to show you how to hand sew. Da-da-da. You're sitting there, I'm off camera. Yeah, my pins are all the way on the other side of the room. I'm trying new camera stuff, trying to get you the best image possible. Oops, and I'm off screen again. Ugh. Make sure that's a nice arc. There we go. And like I said, I am not going to stitch this guy closed on camera because that's just too much time just watching me goof around. So there we go. There's our Monster Eye stuffy. Yay. Probably need to poke that in a little bit more to make it more roundy. All right. That is that. Ow. Yay. All you do is stitch him closed, and there's your Monster Eye. Peace.